Killing Softly here with some quick tips on the new FPS title, The Finals. There's a lot of mechanics in this game that aren't necessarily explained right out, so grab your 6-pack of Ospoos. Ospoos? I guess that's how you pronounce it.
It's got electrolytes.
Anyway, grab a beverage and I'm gonna explain these mechanics. First things first, everyone probably already knows if you've played the finals that you can pick stuff up in the environment and throw them. If you've been playing the finals this past week, you've probably been picking stuff up and chunking them with your left mouse click, but did you know that you can use right click to just drop the item? This is super helpful in a lot of different scenarios. One being if your teammate goes down and you grab their totem. I see a lot of players, they'll grab the totem and they end up throwing the thing and it goes slinging across the room. If you right click, it'll just drop the item right where you're at. So segueing from dropping items in the world, you can also use right click to underhand throw a lot of the throwables. One of the most useful ways that you can underhand throw is with the dome shield. I see a lot of heavies taking the dome shield and chunking it like Uncle Rico.
Watch this.
But most scenarios where you're using the dome shield, you need to drop the dome shield right on your person or right on your teammates or right on the objective. So underhand throwing the dome shield is a lot more accurate for that. Another hidden mechanic with the dome shield is that you can actually shoot the gadget that's inside the dome shield and it will disable it. The shield also has physics, so explosions and stuff will knock the gadget around, therefore moving the shield. One last thing with the dome shield, I know most people probably know that when you're inside the dome shield, you're protected, and most people probably even know that you can shoot out of the dome shield, but did you know that you can also stand outside of the dome shield and still shoot through it? You don't have to be inside of it, you can also be outside of it and still use it to shoot through it. All right, I want to jump back real quickly to the left click, right click mechanics that are in the game. For the melee weapons, they have a left click and right click mechanic where left click is your light attack and right click is a heavy charged attack. For the sledgehammer, the heavy charged attack is an overhead attack that does a lot of damage. It's pretty much will instantaneously destroy any wall or destructible item when you hit it. And then for the sword's right click attack is actually a lunge attack. So it'll propel your character forward once it's charged, and you can use that to your advantage, like if someone's running away from you or if you're just trying to like get some maneuverability on another character. It's really useful. Another mechanic that's not really explained in the finals is the goo. You know, something of a unique aspect in this game, and I see a lot of people not really understanding how it works. Goo is great, goo is good, but you need to know how to use it. Goo reacts to the surface with which that you hit it with. Whatever object you hit, that's the direction in which it's gonna expand. So if you throw it against the wall, it's gonna protrude out from the wall horizontally. If you throw it on the ground or on the ceiling, it's gonna protrude vertically. So when you're going around gooing up the map, make sure that you're using that tip to your advantage. Did you know that the gas in the finals can be countered with fire? You can use a incendiary grenade, you can use a flamethrower, you can use a fire canister. The fire will explode the gas and then the cloud dissipates, so you're able to counter the gas that way. All right, so speaking of counters in the game, did you know that you can counter goo by throwing fire on it? If you've got a team that's holed up on an objective, they've gooed off the entire building, and you're like, shit, how am I gonna get in here? Use some fire. I just love counter plays that you can make with the different equipment in the game. All right, so let's talk about the medium class and the turrets that it has. Everyone hates the turrets, like they are very annoying to deal with, but I see a lot of people only placing them on the ground, but you can also place them like pretty much anywhere. You can place them on the ceiling, you can place them on walls. I find that the ceiling play is pretty useful, especially when you're defending an objective. The only thing to be aware of in that scenario is if they do blow up the ceiling or if the ceiling gets destroyed, the turret will fall down and eventually kind of just like slowly melt through the floor, but you can pick up the turret and instantaneously put it back down again with full HP. Ziplines are a great way to get mobile around the map, but you can also shoot the ziplines to prevent teams from following you. This is also true for ladders as well. So everyone loves throwing the propane tanks around and blowing stuff up, but you can actually chunk these things and they blow up just like an RPG would. You have to know the exact distance from which it'll blow up. If you throw a propane canister at somebody and you're too close to them, it'll just bounce off of them. It'll do a little bit of damage, but it's not gonna blow up. If you go in the practice range, you can kind of practice the distance at which you need to be. If you have a class with C4 on it, throw a C4 on the container, and then when you throw it at somebody, you can detonate it at whatever distance that you want. I love using this strat to open up fights with other teams. Just chunk a barrel at them, explode a giant poison cloud in their face, and then, you know, they're just mincemeat after that. Just like that. This really is such a cheesy and toxic strat, and I'm actually gonna do a video on it. So if you did enjoy these tips, guys, make sure you leave a sub, and I'll catch you in the next video where I show you how to absolutely just ruin people's day with that strat. Catch y'all next time, guys.